In this module, we are going to talk about Mendel, okay, and his work, Gregor Johann Mendel. Gregor Johann Mendel. We refer to him as father of modern genetics for the work he did almost a century before we appreciate or we acknowledge that it is because of genes present in our DNA that we acquire some characters or some traits from our previous generation. Mendel was an Austrian monk who also was a wonderful observer and a brilliant scientist. He actually worked or he observed pea plants that were growing in his monastery. Pisum sativum is the pea species that he referred to. The question comes, why did he think of pea plants only? Why not something else? First, they were perennial. They were growing all around the year. There was no specific season in which they could flourish. No, they could be easily grown. There were 7 visible traits. We are going to talk about these traits in the next slide, which you can easily observe without help of a microscope. Observe the plant, note down your observations. That was possible. The lifespan of a pea plant was short-lived, which means he was able to observe one generation after the other, the next, and so many generations. Definitely, to formulate laws, just observing 1 or 2 generations would not have helped him or would not have brought him to carve that law. So he had to observe several such generations of plants. The pea plants were hermaphrodite flowers, which means the question of self and cross pollination was being taken care of because the plant has both male and female gametes. Selectively, he was able to self and cross pollinate the plants because the plants were growing in his monastery and they were hermaphrodite. So he could observe, he could actually make those variations happen. Naturally, the pea plants were disease resistant. So that was an inbuilt quality that he got. Because of all these observations in the year 1866, he was able to carve 3 laws in genetics which hold true even today. He found a very good and a logical mathematical pattern that was seen in the inheritance from parent generation to the progeny or the next generation. And years later, we found that traits are due to genes which are encoded in the DNA. He did not gain fame for his work at that time, but even today, posthumously, we we appreciate him or we regard him as father of modern genetics. This picture tells you about traits that are seen in the pea plant. See all those traits carefully. They are clearly visible and they are distinct. They are distinct in terms of you can make out what is what. We have studied about what is a dominant trait and what is a recessive trait in our previous modules. So over here, the 7 traits that were studied were flower color, plant height, seed color, seed shape, pod color, pod shape, and flower position. And all the dominant as well as the recessive traits were very distinct from each other. If you read that slide properly, you will see purple versus white, tall and short, yellow, green, round, wrinkled, green pod, yellow pod, inflated pod or constricted pod. See the constrictions clearly seen in the diagram, and flower position, whether it is axial or whether it is terminal. All these traits he observed, he noted down his observations, calculated them, and then put forth his theory of inheritance. Okay, this was a known fact that offspring resembles their parents and yet there are certain differences between them. And this resemblance and differences is because of heredity. Now, if I want to study this trait of what Mendel had proposed, I need to understand two things of a trait. A trait can be represented by two ways. One is through its genotype and the other through its phenotype. What do you mean by genotype? Genotype is nothing but genetic constitution, genetic makeup. What is that trait which is representing something genetically at the gene level? How do I describe it? So, if I want to describe it that way, then I say I am describing a genotype. Describing genes in an organism is genotype. If genotype is describing genes, then phenotype means describing the feature. Okay, let us take an example to make this clear. Let us see if I am referring height, which is a trait. Okay, so I have to represent height in genotypic form as well as in phenotypic. In genotypic, I might say that, see, the person at the gene level, the person has got a capital T and a small t. Can you all see this? If you remember dominant and recessive, you would have seen these figures put side to side that time. So genotypically for height, this genetic constitution could be capital T, small t, capital T, capital T. But in either case, let it be capital or small, since the capital means dominant, the phenotype, what I see in an individual is the person is tall. So this tallness of an individual can tell me that phenotypically this is a feature that gets expressed. But genotypically it can be homozygous TT, capital T, or it could be heterozygous, one capital, one small. Is this clear? Now let us look at another condition. Same trait, height. If I say that the phenotype is dwarf is a recessive character. Okay, so if it is recessive character, then what will I have? I will have both the alleles genotypically, both are small t, small t. Now tell me, is this small t also homozygous? Yes, this small t is also homozygous. Capital T is also homozygous. But one small and one capital will be heterozygous. So a trait can be expressed genotypically as well as phenotypically. Phenotypic is the feature that we actually see. Genotypic is the genetic makeup that we get. All this was studied by Gregor Mendel 100 years back. Okay, and the thing that happened was, in spite of his work not being appreciated at that time, he did not stop observing. What he quoted was, my scientific studies have afforded me great gratification, and I am convinced that it will not be long before the whole world acknowledges the result of my work. And surprisingly, 1866 is what he quoted his laws, and almost in the 20th century, that is in the year 1900 and beyond that, we actually confirm that yes, it is because of the genes that the inheritance gets passed on from one generation to the other.